All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to yet another happy social distancing happy hour. I'm Waller's Wallet, and it's been a while since I've done one of these, but I've had quite a few requests. By the way, let me know how the sound quality is. I'm always trying to make sure that it sounds good while I'm doing these live streams. Actually, I have my iPad set up too as a sidecar, which is actually really cool. First off, thank you, Fernando, for the super chat. I really appreciate that, man. Buy one, hopefully this buys one diaper. We'll see. I'll soon have two kids on there for diapers. Although my wife has been in a big phase of getting cloth diapers all set up for the kids. So that's been a little bit different, but so far, it's been working out really well, with the exception of the fact my oldest, or my son, can now take his diapers off. So it makes it a little bit difficult and challenging. But anyways, first question for you guys. How's everyone doing? How are all of you out there? Are you chomping at the bit to travel? Because I know I'm really looking forward to traveling as soon as possible, but I've kind of lost hope in the sense of traveling for 2020, at least internationally. So, I don't know if any of you are traveling. Let me know if you are, and how's the travel being out there. Also, be sure to ask your questions. This social distancing Q&A is really all for you. And I'm hopefully you guys have some good questions. So ask them. I'll get to them here in a few minutes. But as we get through right now, little update on the channel. We're almost at 11,000 subs on the channel, which is really cool to see. I think we're like 25 or 30 subs away from actually hitting 11,000. So this is actually, it's pretty cool. The channel's slowly growing, which is really cool to see. And I guess from a credit card perspective too, outside of these temporary updates, I feel like it's been relatively quiet for credit cards. We had like the Altitude Connect release, but we knew that was coming. But all these temporary updates, there have been some pretty solid temporary offers from the banks right now, mostly led by Chase. Like Chase has been on fire with these bad boys. As much as I want to give Chase a difficult time for the reward program, and my opinion on that doesn't change, I can't knock the fact that they are really, really doing a number for their customers, making sure the customers are spending on their cards and feeling rewarded in doing it. And then we've also seen a couple decent promotions out there from some airlines or hotels. Currently, Hyatt, I don't know if anybody saw it, Hyatt's offering up to a 25% point rebate on award stays. So if you're not a credit card member, you get up to 15%, or you get 15% off. And if you are a credit card holder, you get a 25% rebate back on your rewards. You do need to register by 9/1, and you need to complete your stay by October 10th. So if you're someone comfortable with traveling, then you could get a really good deal out of some Hyatts. If not, you're going to kind of need to wait and see. But that's a really good offer. 25% back is a really good value for that there. And then big news I felt for airlines is Alaska is accelerating the fact of moving up to the One World Alliance to by the end of this year. They were slated to join by summer of 2021, I think it was, sometime in 2021. But now they're moving up to the end of this year. And I'll be really curious what happens with their reward program, because for Alaska miles, those are probably the most valuable points in the credit card game right now. And I'm curious to see what Alaska does to their reward chart and see if they actually end up screwing it up and canceling, like screwing up their reward chart. I hope not, but we'll have to wait and see. I can't imagine it's going to stay as good as it is once they join One World, but hey, I could totally be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. And then personal stuff, within the next month, I have another kid being born. That's pretty crazy, because I sometimes struggle with one, and to throw two in there would be pretty interesting. And, but we're excited for it. Everything looks good as far as the baby does look healthy from all the scans we've seen and all the appointments we've had. So we're looking forward to him joining us here. Although I'm pretty sure my son is not going to like the fact of sharing time with another baby. So, he'll have to just kind of get over it. And then, I think if you guys saw the last video, I showed some pictures of my, I call it my workout room, but it's like right outside the studio here, where the shower drain actually just started leaking. So my wife was getting ready for work one morning, and she said, you can just sleep in for a little bit longer. It's cool. So I went back to sleep for like 5 minutes, and she comes in the room like, hey, you need to get up now. I thought it was like a really bad bait and switch, but I come downstairs and like there's just water pouring out of our ceiling. And what happened was the previous homeowners who lived here were not very handy people and did stuff really poorly and used the wrong size pipes for the shower drain and wrapped it with some like aluminum insulation to keep it from leaking. So it was like a really slow drip for many years. I mean, we lived here for like almost 4 years. So like there's this huge like wall of mold and on the top and the side of the house, and it's slowly drying out. But I'll tell you right now, it's in my office, it's 82 degrees because because the company that comes in to clean up everything has 3 huge fans and a massive dehumidifier in here. And it is really, really hot in this area. So I'm looking forward to all that crap being out of here. And then, I'm excited for my new iPad coming in. The iPad, I got the iPad Pro 12.9 inch coming in with the Magic Keyboard. And I'm really looking forward to trying that out. I use a MacBook Pro right now, but I've been seeing, I saw quite a few videos of people using their iPad as a daily driver. And I just like the idea. I like where they're taking the iPad. I like the iPad OS. I like really what they're doing. A few things I'd like to see different, but I'm curious to see how it goes. And, I use Final Cut Pro for editing. I did ask people, and I had a few people want to see my workflow for video editing, and I will get to that, and I will do that because I think it's a pretty interesting workflow. It's a little bit different. I actually edit my videos on like 2.5 speed because it speeds up the whole process because it's just a talking head. But no, I'll be trying that out. I'll make sure to let people know how that goes. And then I know what everybody's looking forward to is that new round of stimulus check videos coming out from people, because I think we're seeing a stimulus check passed very, very soon. And we'll see a ramp up of videos for those, but hopefully that helps the people that really need it. And, we can, and then after that, maybe we get back to people getting back into regular stuff. So, but I think I might do like one video on the stimulus stuff, and that's about it. Just like I did the last time. I did one, maybe 2, but yeah, that's what I plan to do with stuff. What's going on, everybody? Let me say hi to everybody who's going in here. What's up, Charles? What's up, Danny? What's up, Fernando? Tyree, how you doing? Alan, how you doing? Watching Yankees. Okay, that's good. I heard they were pumping fan crowd noises into the stadiums. Are you hearing that? Football season, Charles. Man, I don't know. I feel like they're going to either push that back. I have this like weird sense football is going to be canceled. Matthew, how you doing, man? I'm actually drinking coffee right now because I'm planning to work out after I do this live stream. So I didn't want to drink a beer yet, but a buddy of mine has been brewing his own beer and actually gave me a 6-pack of it. And he made a Saison and a rye. Fantastic. So, I'm drinking his brew right now and I'm loving it. So he's done some really good stuff and he's expanding on what he's making. So I'm excited to try what he has coming up in the future too. Red Bull and vodka, Charles. That's awesome. Let's see. Forgot this happened. Here we are. Ben, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. Let's see. So Charles, thank you for the super chat too. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. And then I got it. So I'll be sure to ask your questions too, because I'll get to the Q&A here in just a minute. But the other morning, my wife was getting ready for work and my son looks out the window and he starts going woof. Like, because he woofs a lot of things right now. Apparently it's what 18 months do. But my wife looks out in the backyard and there's a black bear, legitimately a black bear, just walking in our backyard. So I'm in the kitchen. She yells to me and I come running in. I see the black bear. I'm like, it's really cool because I've never seen a black bear just walking around, especially in my backyard. Danny, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. And so we see this black bear come and go, and he just walks off into the neighborhood, and away he goes. And about 30 minutes before this live stream, I was typing up a couple notes to keep myself, focused, and keep like a little outline, if you will. And I look at my backyard because I can see the backyard from my window here, and there's trash just sprawled all over the place. It's not like a raccoon. Raccoons just like, they eat like a buffet style right where they are. They just kind of look around. But this was just mangled all over, all in about a half hour ago while I was down here working. So the bear came back for more food. So I'm out there picking it all up. I'm like looking around, wondering if the bear's coming, because I heard crackling and twigs breaking in the woods back over here. So yeah, we have a bear in the area. So I don't know. Should we name the bear? Let me know what you guys think for bear names. But all right, let's get to some questions now. Be sure to ask your questions. Let's get to the Q&A. I've been talking long enough. Let's see. Okay. Can I Charles says, can I apply for the boundless card? You can apply for it if depends on when. I know you messaged you left a message in the Facebook group that you, or was it on the video? You closed your account recently. How long has it been since you've had a bonus on it, Charles? Because that'll kind of dictate if and when you can get the bonus, or which card did you close as well beforehand. Congrats on babies. Thank you, Danny. I really appreciate that. Yes, I can recommend the cloth. Yeah, we've had. I always thought, Fernando, the cloth diapers like the old, like white cloth with the safety pins, but these have snaps on it. It seems it's so much more, so much more useful, and it's actually not too bad. Except it makes my son look. It makes it look like my son has a lot of junk in his trunk when he wears them. Let's see. I remember when my kids used to take their diapers off and smear all over the walls. I don't have any of those yet. Being Charles, so we'll have to see. Let's see. Watching Yankees. Okay. Oh man, this weekend. I heard JetBlue's doing a partnership with American Airlines. So what does that mean? They're going to do? Are they going to be under one world umbrella as well? No, Charles. As of right now, nothing here is going to be that way. It's a non-alliance partnership between these two airlines. I haven't seen any information about award redemptions for them. They are code sharing, so you could be booked. If you book an itinerary, you could be partially on JetBlue, partially on American. I'm curious to see what the award redemptions are if they allow it. I think we'll be seeing that come downstream, though. We did see that with Singapore and Alaska at one point, that they announced their partnership, but they didn't start. They didn't reciprocate redemption sides for a while down the road, and it took a little bit of time for them to do that. It was only fairly recently you were able to start booking Alaska miles on Singapore's website. You used to have to call in and do that. So still to be announced on what does that mean for frequent flyers or for people who earn points and miles. I'm hoping it would be nice if you could use JetBlue miles on American at a decent rate, or vice versa, using American airline miles, maybe for JetBlue Mint, because JetBlue Mint is 1 cent per point when you use JetBlue miles. So it's really not a great use of your JetBlue miles. Probably booking it through like the Chase travel portal or with someone like Business Platinum could potentially be better. Let's see. Ben says, hey guys, think Chase will add a new card targeting the gold since it seems like they're experimenting with the grocery category at the moment? Ben, I think that's an interesting question because we saw them add a temporary benefit onto the Sapphire Reserve and a couple of co-branded credit cards and the Sapphire Preferred for grocery. Now they're coming back with the Freedom being offered. I think the Freedom offer is actually really good. 5x on groceries for a year up to $12,000. This really takes away someone who's looking at a couple of different grocery cards. It really does pull someone towards the Freedom or Freedom Unlimited compared to a Blue Cash Preferred and really the Gold card. I just don't think the Gold card looks as good now in this, especially over the next year. So could they be adding something? I think it'd be in their best interest to, because we see the City Premier offering grocery categories. We see American Express add them, and we're just seeing Chase with temporary benefits. So I don't know if what they're thinking about and how they're going to implement it, but I would like to say I do think they're going to add some sort of grocery category to one of their cards. Could be maybe 2021, maybe later this year. I'm not exactly sure, but I do think we'll see something, because there's no way they go hard with groceries and then just let it go, because they're going to lose I think they would lose a lot of swipes that way. Great video. Thank you very much, German. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you watching them. Chase says, what's up, Chase King? How you doing, man? You must be loving this Chase, just like taking it to American Express right now with all these temporary benefits. Let's see. Danny Boy, Team Apple. Absolutely. Actually, it's funny. I go back and forth between Apple and Android. I had the Pixel for a couple years. I had actually the Samsung S10e, which my biggest complaint with the S10e was the fact, and just Samsung in general, I think their hardware is actually really good. It was a really good phone, but their camera software I just found sucked, and I couldn't. everything was very pixelated and very blurry, even on a tripod. So I couldn't keep it just because everything was terrible. And when I try to take pictures or even videos on it, it just doesn't compete. And I like how Apple has 4K on the front video as well as the back. Apple just does a really good job with a lot of their stuff. And now that I'm really into the Apple ecosystem with the AirPods and the phone and a couple different setups here, it is really nice to see that. What did I see down here? Oh, thank you very much, Alvin, for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Dustin's diaper donation. I appreciate that, Alvin. Thank you so much. Let's see. But yeah, so far, like right now, Danny, I'm definitely in that Team Apple all the way, just to the fact that their ecosystem and their editing software is pretty good as well for what I was using it for. My current setup, I just did a video on that, Fernando. Still mostly cash back. I have the Chase Sapphire Reserve for gas. And I'm using up a bunch of dining credits as well. But I just did a video on that one too. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but still running my cashback setup with Hilton points to the end of this month on groceries. What's up? Doing great. Here we go. What's going on, Sammy? How you doing? What's going on, Champ? How you doing, man? Long time no hear from. Let's see. Dylan asked, what are the main things I dislike about the Chase Rewards program? I used to really be big on them, but my biggest problem with the Chase ecosystem, Dylan, or the Chase travels, if you will, or the transfer partners, is they haven't done anything with it. While programs have devalued, they lost Korean Air a couple years ago. They replaced it with JetBlue. Not exactly an equal partnership and trade-off, if you will. United's gone dynamic. Really not as much use anymore for some of those flights. And it gets pricier at certain times as well. You still have the excursionist perk, which is good, but unless you're using them almost in sense of like Delta miles, it's not as great. British Airways, I can get with other people. A lot of their partners aren't unique to them, with the exception of Hyatt. Hyatt is the moneymaker for them, and I stand by that 100%. If Hyatt leaves them tomorrow, Chase has a serious problem on their hand. And regardless of how great these temporary benefits are and people are earning really well, if they lose that there, the pay yourself back feature is great. It's great for someone like me. I'm a cash back fan or cash back guy who uses Airbnb. I'm going to use that every day of the week and cash out essentially. But if you're someone who likes premium cabin or luxury travel, I just don't see the value in it anymore. Let's see. Edgar says, what's going on, Edgar? How you doing, man? I was watching another YouTube video and he was talking about the current debit card. I don't know much about the current. Can you give me a little bit more on that? Like, is that the name, the current debit? I'll have to actually look into it. I definitely looked at, there's a couple debit cards. I have like the Cash App card and a SoFi card. I don't know. I don't dig a whole lot into the debit cards because they're just not typically as rewarding. But let me know a little bit more about it. I'll definitely take a look into it though. Smokey the Bear. I love it. Waller's Wildlife. Those are some good names. You should get one of those motion triggered sprinklers to deter animals. That's not a bad idea, DK. Let's see. What are my thoughts on the Verizon card? Danny, did you see my video on it? I did do a video on it. It looks decent from the outside, but once you start digging into it, for me, it's a pass. I don't want to do Verizon dollars. I don't trust Verizon, although they're my cell phone carrier. I don't like being tied only to one thing. And their sign up bonus for it, I know that, I had a couple comments saying, that's how cell phone companies do it. They give you these slotted or monthly allowances for things. And that's not how credit cards work, though. I don't care if it's a cell phone company. So it just doesn't appeal to me. If it was straight cash back, I would say it's probably one of the best cards we've seen this year. I know I didn't get to see the full video, but I know Jake Bro recently did a video on it saying he thinks it was the best card, at least based on his title, our best card of this year. And I know he liked it, but it could have been better by just being cash back. I think it's not going to be as good for people overall. Just my thoughts. Brittany, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining in. Let's see. Alan says the new 5% on the Freedom Unlimited is only for new members, or including. So, Alan, it's only for new card holders, with the exception of people who have applied recently for the card. They can reach out and they can, be matched to it. What's interesting though, what I found really interesting on both the Marriott offer and the Freedom offer is that um, Chase typically matches 90 days, but what I saw was that it did not say they were specifically matching 90 days. So they'd match up to June 1st for Freedom card holders and Freedom Unlimited and 60 days for Marriott holders. So this is a little bit different in language than what I've seen in the past and historically. I don't know if we're going to see people who are going to get matched, who were 90 days out. So I'll be curious for data points there. But I'm curious to know if potentially if this is a change in Chase or if it's just, mishap wording. So I'll be an eye on there. But recent new cardholders potentially could get in. But all of us who've had the Freedom for years, we're out of luck here. Let's see. SB says 780 FICO score. I want the US Bank Go over 524. What are my odds of getting approved? What's your velocity been in the last 6 to 8 months, SB? Over 5, and also how far over 524 are you? Those are kind of my two questions that kind of go forward, but to kind of help you out there. See, I just finished my 524 with Chase. Any other program application limited before I go forward? DK, if you're thinking about any Barclay cards, I would look there first because Barclay can be a bit difficult as well. Or if you're thinking of a US Bank card, I would look at there first before going on to like American Express or Citi. Those banks are a little bit easier. So Barclay or US Bank. So, Shauna, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And you guys are all just so generous. Let's see. I'll go back out. Let's see. Melissa asked, do I think the Hyatt sign-up bonus will increase anytime soon? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to increase in any capacity. I hope it does. That'd be great for people. But Hyatt seemed to be pretty stable where it's at. The points are very valuable, so they don't really need to offer anything extra right now because they are the most valuable hotel program out there for points, and it's not even close. So could they? Sure. I think we've seen them offer some other promotions to where they're letting people earn more. And we see them offer like this 25% rebate or get a rebate on points as well. So you do have quite a bit of options there with Hyatt, but I don't think we're going to see, unless it's targeted. There could be targeted offers. We've seen that in the past, but I just don't see it. Eduardo, how you doing? I'm doing great. How are you? Okay, let's see. Trust says, out here, JetBlue announced that they're moving all their facilities from Long Beach to LAX starting in October. Yeah, I think Fernando was telling me that the other day too. And that could be really tough for people who fly out of Long Beach or who've been accumulating JetBlue miles. So you have to be kind of picking and choosing. Or if you have a lot of JetBlue miles, kind of to see what the partnership with American Airlines could yield for you. Let's see. Diana says, thank you so much for the Freedom Unlimited. I got approved today. I'm happy to hear that, Diana. Congratulations on the approval. It's very funny with the Chase Freedom card, so anytime, it's funny. I think it's funny. Maybe some of you won't. Well, anytime I do a video, there was a video I did. Oh God, I was in Germany. I was traveling in Germany. It was about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And I had seen a blog post about the city premiere going away. And I thought to myself, I got to let this out to my channel. Because if it is going away, I want to make sure people get in on it. So I make this video about it possibly going away. You need to get the card now. Like, get it now. It's not going to be here in a couple of days. And clearly that was wrong because it's still here and it never went away. So now before I do anything, and that's sometimes a tough thing about breaking news is, I do verify the stuff now before I post it because I don't want to be wrong. But I'll tell you though, when I posted that video last night and people were looking at it, I felt like people were wanting, like at midnight, they were looking for the application and it wasn't there. Like, hey, it's not here. So it's like, it came out at like 4 p.m. today. So like, there was like a lot of comments of like, is this even real? Are you right? What's going on here? I see nothing. But I will tell you, if I post something like that, of that nature, I have verified it because I don't want to be that guy that just posts stuff for get clicks. So, hopefully I'm not wrong on that, to where Chase doesn't ever change anything. But that is a double-edged sword trying to be first, because as a smaller channel compared to some of the bigger guys like, Sebi or Ben over at Shufu, being first is important because most of you are subscribers there. So if you've already seen the video on their channel, odds are the smaller channels don't get seen. So if you got to really be fast and first in some of these situations, but there's always that double-edged sword. But yeah, that's my little soapbox spiel there. Let's see. I noticed you don't have a platinum card. Is there a reason why? CJ, it's a good question. A couple years ago, I actually had the business platinum when it was a 50% rebate, and then I got rid of it. I personally don't have a need for the platinum card right now. Could I in the future? Sure. At which point I'd open it. But I have a need for it. And while I could get 75,000 points for it by going incognito, I'm definitely going to wait to maybe get that 100,000 or even that target 125,000. But I'm not in a rush for it. I have, a healthy membership reward balance to go anywhere in the world I want. So I'm not hurting for membership reward points. So there's no need for me to go after it right now. A good example of this is like the green card. Many years ago, I didn't need the card, but I opened the green card back when you could get, I think it was a 20 or 25,000 point bonus for $1,000 spend. Real easy. Didn't need it, but I wanted it. And then we see these bigger bonuses coming on the refreshed green card. So I lost out potentially on points by not being patient and getting a card when I needed it, as opposed to I wanted it. So I kind of just tailor that back now to more so get cards when I need them, as opposed to just because I want them, if that makes sense. Charles says, wouldn't that be a spit in the face of American Express? Let's see. Wouldn't that be a spit in the face if American Express came out and said, we're going to get 5 extra grocery stores on the gold card? I don't even think that would be such a big deal, Charles, honestly, because they're already offering 4x. Is that really going to entice people more? Like, don't get me wrong. It would be nice, but you're already offering 4x it's only a 1x more earning rate. I think they need to do something with that airline credit. That $100 airline credit's just sitting there for people. They're just watching and just sit there. They can't do anything with it. For most people, I'm assuming, it seems pretty useless and in its current form. So if they could maybe allow that to be used for grocery purchases, that's a start. If they were to offer 4x on gas, it doesn't compete with maybe the 5x on the Sapphire Reserve, but that may make people happy who want membership reward points over that. So there's got to be something there, but it would be pretty interesting to see what they do. Key, what's going on? How you doing? Let's see. Do you think when COVID is over and things are normalized, banks relax the rules, 524 no more, one in a lifetime to get customers? I think that's a good question. I don't think we're going to see Chase relax that 524 rule. If they're not relaxing it now, I mean, I don't actually, if anything, I'm not sure. I'm sure they're not tightening it up. I don't see them releasing that or loosening up on that now. American Express, I don't. I think they're wanting to get rid of the gamers, even if the fact maybe they're not getting the velocity of new applications. They don't want unprofitable customers, and we're unprofitable customers if we're not using their cards, holding balances, paying interest, gaming in a sense, essentially. So I just don't see it. Maybe, hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. Eduardo says, I'm new to the airline game. Any recommendations for a good first starter airline card for international trips? There are a lot of cards out there, Eduardo, that you could get started with. But what I would say to you is actually look at flexible currency. That's going to be far better for you. Membership rewards, Chase Ultimate Rewards, even though I'm not high up on the program. If you're still under 524, you should still try to max out the Chase cards you have before moving on. But that's going to give you more options and more opportunities for better success when it comes to airline redemptions. I could tell you get an American Airline cards because there's value there, but then you're just stuck with American Airlines. And if American Airlines changes something or breaks off a relationship or charges more miles, you're kind of stuck there. But if you get a flexible currency card, you can diversify your points into whatever program could be useful. So for example, if you had American Airline miles and you were looking to fly business class over to Europe, that would be on a saver space, 57,500 miles plus taxes. But you could fly that same flight using Etihad miles for 50,000 miles. So there are bits and pieces of these options to where you could get better redemptions, even with flexible currency. So, your Chase cards, Sapphire Reserve, building up the other cards, the Freedoms, things like that. In the American Express cards, really, where I would start. Let's see, Apple for president. That's Apple's. I like Apple, man. Let's see. Let's see. Derek says, with the new sign-up bonus of 100,000 points with the Marriott Boundless, Would that be more appealing than the 50,000 point world of Hyatt? Which card would you rather have now? That is a great question. I would still lean towards Hyatt. One, I think Hyatt's program is way better. I think there's still value in these 100,000 points, but if it's for me long term, I still prefer Hyatt over Marriott. Their customer service is better. Their hotels, I feel, are better. And 50,000 points could do me a lot more traveling, even on the low end. I feel the exception would be if you're someone who uses Marriott Bonvoy points to top up airline accounts like American Airlines, Alaska Airlines, Korean Airlines, Asiana, things like that where you can get really solid redemptions for that you can't get with other flexible currencies. Because that's still a lot of airline miles to kind of fill up your account. But I would totally still go Hyatt. Hey, Joseph, how you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Let's see. Mark says, oh, I hate when YouTube does that. It always moves my comments. So I'm looking. Let's see, Mark. What's going on, Mark? Let's see. Thoughts on the gold card not offering temporary benefits to offset hard to use travel credit this year? I think it's crap. I don't know what to say. I think it's crap on them because it's a $250 card. We see banks pulling out the stops here. Even as easy as City Prestige is, they were giving you more options to use that travel credit if you weren't traveling. U.S. Bank finally rolled out. Bank of America is letting people, get that $50 credit. American Express, I think, is really holding to the fact they feel they have an isolation credit card with the gold card and are holding strong. But I really think they're going to have to change that because Chase is hammering it to them. And people who don't have the Freedom or Freedom Unlimited might have just gotten the Freedom or Freedom Unlimited today or thinking about it. And the gold card sits on the back burner because Forex is no longer appealing to some people, no annual fee. And, when it push comes to shove, if your annual fee is coming due, they're having to get with these big retention offers or potentially could be. I think they need to make it easier for people. I just think it's crap in general. They just have a really rigid airlines credit as opposed to an actual travel credit or something else. So I think it's crap. I think what they're doing is crap. Let's say, when you say heat wave, what has the temperature been lately? Joseph, in this area, like in Maine, it's been, high 80s, low mid 90s, super humid. And I think you were just joining, but my office is currently 82 degrees right now. So it's a little bit toasty down here and still humid. So I think in the next couple of days it's supposed to break, which I'm really happy for. I think it's fair to say Chase still has the best travel protections. I agree, Randy. They definitely still have the best travel protections of these banks. The altitude reserve is on the same level field, maybe not as much protections on some of the things, but U.S. Bank, the altitude reserve actually has some pretty good protections for people. But American Express, you need to book that round trip ticket. Citi could be in the ball game if they decided just to add it back. I mean, they had really good travel protections on their cards and then just decided hey, we don't need them on travel cards anymore and got rid of it. But yeah, I agree with you. Let's see. The Verizon card rises as the Uber card falls. Yeah, Danny, it looks like it's almost like an Uber copycat, except they made it restrictive on the redemptions before it even right off the gate. Let's see. I recently signed up for the Cash App. for the Cash App card. Can you make a video on how the boost works? Ben, I will add it to my list of videos to do. Absolutely. What are your thoughts on the Walmart Plus program? Have you heard about the new card they're coming out with? I don't know much about the Walmart Plus program. I haven't looked much into it. I don't do a whole lot of shopping at Walmart, but I probably should. I did hear about the new card that's coming out for them. I'm gonna wait to see how it actually is when it comes out, but I think there's gonna be other cards for people overall that could be potentially better. Let's see. Does it just refresh every week or the same one? Ben, typically it depends on how you use it, but once you can add a boost to it and use it as many times. Some of them are one-time use, like the grocery store one. You'll use it and it'll disappear, and then it may come back later on. Let's see. Who's that? Jeremy, thank you very much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. Let's see what your question is real fast. Let's see. What is U.S. Bank's application rules and restrictions you already have to be a customer of there. So the bank U.S. banks rules and restrictions are kind of frustrating because it's not published in the sense of what they can do or what they do. They are more conservative. So if you're someone who's been applying for cards heavily, odds are you're not going to be approved for a U.S. bank card. And depending which cards you have, I typically tell people, you don't want to probably have any hard pulls on your account in the last 6 months for going for U.S. bank, at least 6 months. And then if you've been super active in the last 24 months, it could potentially have a phone call for you. But then to be a customer of theirs first, the one that you need to have a relationship with first is for the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve. You don't need a relationship to get the Connect or the U.S. Bank Cash Plus or one of their Flexbert cards. And I don't even live in an area with U.S. Bank, and I do have the card there. So that's the only one you need at this time to have a relationship with first. And if you are looking for a relationship, you can open a checking account with them. But if not, you can do a brokerage account. I'm looking at the wrong camera. My actual camera I shoot videos on is right next to the webcam I'm using. So I'm looking at that. My bad. So you can look at opening a brokerage account, and you save yourself a credit card pool if you don't want one of their other credit cards. So they are more conservative. So if you've been super aggressive, you need to hold off for a bit of time. And then let's see. Man, where did this go? Sorry, let me get back to where I was talking about. Let's see. I do agree with Hyatt is the best program. Probably I can see from my perspective, Hyatt isn't that exciting. Marriott's still better. Interesting, Randy. That's interesting. Hyatt isn't as exciting. Did you stay at what properties did you stay at for Hyatt compared to Marriott? That's interesting. Let's see. If T-Mobile didn't suck in my area, the 4% APR or interest rate would be nice. Yeah, Jerome, I agree. I do like that checking account for them. I would actually like to be on T-Mobile service, but their network sucks in my area too. So Verizon all the way where I live. Let's see. Krusty Krab Pizza. Dustin, you're one of my favorite credit card YouTubes on YouTube. Thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you very much. That being said, you should also make a gym routine workout type tips videos. That would be fun to do. I'm always hesitant about doing that because I've always been really hesitant about that. But like I've gotten that request a few times. So maybe I will throw in a couple gym routines because, like I said, I work out here and put it together and put something out there for that. That would be very fun because I do love working out. I've been working out probably, except for grad school, that was difficult to get out there like 5-6 days a week. Probably anywhere from 4 to 6 times a week, probably for the last like 17 years. So, and I go back and forth between running and lifting, but I've always been big into lifting. So I'm really back into lifting now and really, really enjoying it. So especially how quickly I've been able to put some of my strength and mass back on. So it's been really nice too. Let's see. Alvin, what's going on, man? Let's see. Have you heard any updates? American Express is planning to release the product in between Platinum and Centurion. There was speculation on that. I think it was delayed because I remember we saw some slots on their website, Alvin. I haven't seen or heard anything about potentially being released here. What other bank did that? PenFed actually, pulled back on the release of the Pathfinder, the refresh of the Pathfinder. So it wouldn't shock me if they're holding back on these cards that are meant for more travel when people aren't traveling. Because how do you offer a card with, let's say it's going to be a $1,500 annual fee with tons of travel benefits when people can't take advantage of it? So I think it's probably pushed back right now. I'm hoping we see it because it would be fun to compare it to other cards. Because I'm curious to see if it's more prestige or over, like, is it going to be actually good for benefits and whatnot? But man, you know what I really hope American Express does? I hope they make it a plastic card and not a metal card because it would throw people for a loop and I would love it. Let's see. DK says, I just got match today from 75 to 100,000 points. They said it was automatically done. Fantastic. Chase, I've seen that have come in a few times, DK, floating around that Chase was automatically adjusting accounts for people. And if they were doing that, that would be great because that's less of an issue for customers to have to go back through and contact them. So be sure to let us know if that actually does post automatically. Like, well, you contacted them, but I think it's just great that they're doing that in general. Let's see. Armando says, Thank you for bringing us credit card videos. The other dude jumped on the stimulus check bandwagon just to get more subs. You know, I don't fault them. Those guys are grinding away over there, Armando. It's just I love credit card talk and points talk, and I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't think about it for a bit of time. It's just not. I couldn't keep up with it, and I did two videos on it, and I thought that was plenty. I don't know what I don't know what else I could come up with for it. So credit card talk through and through, man. And I'll be staying on the credit card talk and the travel talk. Once we get back to traveling again, I'll do more travel videos. It's just hard to do travel videos when nobody's really traveling. So I will get back into those when it does come time as well. Let's see, Jeremy says, do you have to have an extent? Nope, I think I answered that one for you, Jeremy. Nope, you don't need an existing relationship for their cards. The exception is the altitude reserve. Let's see. Inga, how you doing, Inga? Let's see. I don't know if this has been asked, but would the Bank of America Cash Reward Card be a better option than the Alliant Platinum Reward Card? That's you're talking about the 3% card. I think with Bank of America Cash Back, the Cash Reward Card, you get to pick your category, which is really nice. The other one, if it's the one you're thinking about, is 3% on all purchases for the first year, then 2.5% back starting in year 2. So it depends on what you're using it for. I don't know if you can compare them completely just because of the fact one is more of a rotating, or you get to select a category, and one's pretty much flat cash back. They could be good complements to each other, though, especially if you have Bank of America preferred reward status. Let's see. Dana says, I wish you had a link so you could have gotten paid for the referral. Thank you very much for that. I think, my affiliate across the board credit card affiliates have been, a lot of cards were pulled. So I think it comes back soon, but either way, it doesn't matter. I'm happy you got the card. I'm happy you were approved for the card, regardless if I got, a kickback or not for it, but I appreciate that. Let's see. Shauna says, should I be worried about using Turkish Airlines for my daughter's trip to Bosnia? Any tips or tricks to get through Istanbul? I don't think you should be worried about it. Turkish is a really great airline. They are. I've heard nothing but great things. I've never personally flown them, but I have friends who have, and I know one particular blogger who flies them frequently and swears by them. So I don't think there's anything to worry about. They are a very good airline. They're a top airline in the world. So I think you would be fine there. And as far as any tips or tricks to get through Istanbul, I've never flown through Istanbul, so I can't really particularly be any help to you to get through there. As far as tips and tricks to fly through Istanbul, mileage-wise, it depends on what miles you have to make sure you're getting a really good redemption for them. What miles do you have, Sean? I can let you know then. But I wouldn't be concerned about flying Turkish Airlines. I actually would look to fly them over U.S. carriers without a doubt. Let's see. I've unsubbed from them just because they redo the same videos. Yeah, Danny, once they get through the stimulus stuff, they'll be back to credit card stuff. And I know everyone will be back on to watching, because some of those channels were really, really good for credit card stuff. And, once they get back, I'm sure they'll be back to that same level of great content for credit card stuff. But they're grinding away, man. I can't knock them for the fact some of these guys are doing daily videos with updates. That's daily videos is a grind. I did that in December, and that was just a grind to do. Let's see. Wandering Dog. What do I got here? Thank you so much, Alan, for the super chat. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Let's see. Let's see. Any tips on how you would juggle introductory point offers from the Freedom Reserve and Amex at the same time? Oof, that's rough. First thing I would always say to do is make sure that you have a plan before you apply for all these cards at once. But now we're beyond that, right? You already have them. So what I would look to do potentially is with the Freedom, it's $500. I would probably hit two birds with one stone. I would probably wait to use that one later because the Reserve's $4,000, so it's the gold card. Reserve, you can prepay a lot of bills with those if you have them, your cell phone bill. You can use plastic. I know plastic raised their fees. It's not ideal, but that could help you pay things like your car payment or your mortgage. And if you're paying rent, there's ways to pay rent with your credit card as well. American Express Do not buy gift cards with American Express, especially in that time of meeting minimum spend requirement. They will claw back those points. If you have friends or family you can pay bills with or pay for them for, like, hey, you know what, just give me cash or Venmo me money and I'll pay for dinner, I'll pay your electric bill. That could be helpful. The freedom, I say wait to the last end on that one if you can. You could just go to the grocery store, buy a $500 Amazon gift card. If you shop at Amazon, for example, you're going to earn 5x, get the 20,000 points, and it's knocked out of the way. So shift spending is a big thing I do. Is the fact is I will try to shift things around. I'll prepay my electric bill, prepay my cell phone bill, knowing those are expenses I have to pay anyways. Let's see. Any thoughts on the Prestige? I think it's an underrated card from the benefit side. Pretty sweet for foodies. Oof, this Prestige used to be a much better card than what it is now. It is nice, and since it's 5x, they drop travel protections, which is a big negative for a card that expensive for traveling. The fourth night free, I do like the benefit of the fourth night free, especially for the fact it could be valuable. I don't like it has to be through their travel portal now, because I have seen price fluctuations to where it could cost more for certain properties. Hotels are not required to give you your elite status benefits. So if you have Hilton Diamond status, for example, they're not required to acknowledge that when you come in. So you may not be able to get free breakfast or room upgrade. So I think it's still a good card, especially if you're someone who does travel a handful of times a year and you want those elevated benefits. But if you're stuck between cards too, I wouldn't actually book travel on it because it lacks travel protections. And that's a big negative on a card that costs that much. Let's see. Adam says, with all these extra benefits, sometimes it makes it hard to which card to use. Yeah, it definitely does. I think you should definitely sit down and look at your cards and see what your goals are. If you have a certain travel goal when this is all over, look at what points you need for there and earn those points. You're not going to be able to maximize everything unless you're really spending a lot of money. So it's going to be good to just make sure you're maximizing your spend the best way you can. See, Shauna says, I'm 424 until December. If I do one last chase card, what do you recommend? Shauna, what chase cards do you have? That's the question I would have for you, because there are a lot of good chase cards to have in general. All right, let's see. Oh, yes, that there. Okay. I think I answered that one there, Charles. LOL squad reporting. Oh, yeah. If you're LOL 24, man, you're going to want to take some time off. I don't think you're going to, that would be tough. Even if you've been low key for the last, let's say 6 to 8 months, if you've applied for a lot of them, I don't know if US Bank's going to let you in. As the infinite portal for various select infinite cards change at all? I don't, what was the card? Can't remember the name, but it was a couple of these sentiments. A lot of them have gotten rid of that $100 benefit for that airline credit. Did the Ritz-Carlton card, does the Ritz-Carlton card still have it? I can't remember if the Ritz-Carlton card has it, but a lot of cards have gotten rid of that, Charles, of that $100 airline credit or airline discount for the Visa Infinites, which I wish they'd bring back because that's a very valuable one. If Chase could bring that onto the Sapphire Reserve, it moves the Chase Sapphire Reserve up a couple notches for sure. Let's see. All right, good. If you're okay. I live in Atlanta, Delta Hub. I see many YouTubers say the best way to cash out points transfer partners, but let's see. I live in Atlanta, but I see many YouTubers say the best way to cash out points is to transfer them to partners, but Delta doesn't give the best redemptions. Do you have any other alternative? I have the Charles Schwab Platinum. CJ, you're actually in a pretty decent spot because you can cash them out. I don't know what other YouTubers telling you just to cash them out if you're looking to fly, especially premium cabins. So that's poor advice. I don't know who's saying that, but I would feel that's if you're looking to try fly premium cabins, cashing out for cash isn't a good move because it's not going to give you as much value. From Atlanta, though, a couple programs you need to look at: Virgin Atlantic and also Flying Blue. Okay, those could potentially be really good options for you. They're partners with Delta. Virgin Atlantic is a non-alliance partner with them, and Flying Blue is a Sky Team partner. And those could be some really good options for you for redemption. So I would definitely take a look at those. But if you're looking to fly premium cabins, don't cash out, man. That's not good. The 1.25 cent per point for the Schwab is nice. as an option, but I still wouldn't do it. Not if you're looking to fly, because you can still, even coach wise, still get more than 1.25 cents per point for a lot of coach flights, especially with some of the options out there. So I don't know who's telling you that, man, but I don't think it was me. I hope it wasn't me, because I wouldn't do that. Even if it's Delta, I'd utilize some of the other transfer partners as well, or reposition to a bigger airport with other airline options. So like from Atlanta, maybe look to DC. DC has access to United and American and a lot of other options as well. So it might be worth looking to reposition as well. Let's see. Almighty Trev, big fan. How many accounts do we need? Thank you for watching, Almighty Trev. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. How many accounts is too many in your opinion? Until you get denied for a card. I don't think there's too many is subjective, right? Because for me, I would keep going if there's a lot of cards I'm looking for until a bank says, hey man, you've been really hitting it too hard. At which point I need to I'd back off. But in 1 year, a couple years ago, I opened up like 23 or 24 accounts. So in a year's time. So it all comes down to how much you're comfortable with. And once you start getting rejected for velocity, then I would reevaluate. That's just me though. Let's see. I have a Chase Freedom card. When can I apply for the Chase Sapphire Reserve? My credit score is 620. Fans, I would tell you to wait till your credit score is at least 700 before applying for the Chase Sapphire Reserve. The second thing you need to consider is that with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, it's a Visa Infinite card. You need at least a $10,000 credit limit as well. You might be able to move your Chase Freedom over, but I would definitely wait to see your credit score up to 700 at a minimum before I would apply for it. I don't think you're going to get it at a 620, even with a previous relationship. Let's see. Let's see. Zaya fan. Do you know when Chase will release the insurance utility promotions previously mentioned? It looks like they have, and I didn't get targeted for it. I knew it was a targeted promotion. I know the links are out there. I have in my Facebook group of the links themselves so people can check. Some people actually were able to sign up through the links. Maybe didn't get an email for it, but those current ones are out there right now. I didn't get it. I know a handful of people, other people didn't get it, but I did see people actually get registered for it. I was not fortunate enough. So if you haven't joined my Facebook group, I have all the links in there as well. So you can join that, and I can point you in the right direction over there for them. Let's see. Anthony, let's see. Anthony says, hey, Dustin, just want to know if you have any thoughts about Oxygen Bank and their debit card offering 5 to 7% back in cashback categories and no credit check and line of businesses. I haven't heard of that, but I'm definitely going to check that one out, because 5 to 7% cash back is pretty awesome. So Oxygen. I'll have to check that out in general. That could be a really good option for people. I know people don't like debit cards. I wouldn't put big purchases on debit cards, but like if I was going to the grocery store, I would do it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't put my TV on it or something, or an Apple product or any big purchase, because I like the protections credit cards give me. Charles says, do you think Hyatt will come out with a secondary card or something like that, like a card? I'm not sure if they will. I wish they would. I think it would be great to see them offer people. I think it would be very popular. But I'm not sure if that's in their plans to do that. But I would love to see them do it. But at this time, I'm going to say no right now. But we can hope to maybe 2021 they would even consider it. Let's see. Someone's talking up there. Let's see. US Bank just denied me for a business card. One reason there was no relationship, lack of business card. I have. Interesting. US Bank just in general is really fickle with people, Zappy. I've seen people who haven't churned with it all and they can't get approved. I think when I applied with the Altitude Reserve, I was testing my luck. And I was probably 3 or 4 cards in like the last 9 to 10 months, and it was approved. So I was lucky I squeaked in, but I knew I was pressing my luck just based on historical data points showing that may not always be the case. What's my credit score? It's in the 800s. Let me check it out real fast. But I think it's in the 800s. Live in high def. Let's see. Yeah, it's currently in the 820 range. So pretty good. It allows me to have a lot of room to play with on credit cards if I want to open something. Let's see. David says, I'm late. Thanks for stopping by either way. No need to apologize, ma'am. With the new Southwest promotion sequence, what sequence would you go? How did you? Which promotion are you talking about? Because the cards I saw were still at the 40,000 point offering. Are you talking? I'm curious what promotion. Are you talking about the companion pass, David? Let me know down below. They're stubborn. Let's see. Where is this at? I hate when YouTube does that. Besides Business Platinum, are there any other large spendum cards with increased offers currently? If you can get the ink cards, Roth, but the ink cards are really, really hard to get right now. Let's see. I can't think of any other off the top of my head where there's a increase, like a large spend. What you could do if you have a big spend coming up, get a lot of these cards with $3,000 or $4,000 and just go to town on opening those by opening cards that are going to be like the most stingy bank first and then go down the way towards ease. That's what I would take a look at. Randy, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Thank you very much. You guys are all just too generous. Too generous. Thank you all so much. Let's see. Istanbul's huge. Make sure you have his lounge pass to the airport. If you're looking too for the Istanbul, go check out. He did a video on it. Running with Miles. Doesn't post very often, but that's my buddy Charlie. He was in Istanbul when they opened up the new Turkish lounge, and he has a video on his page. It is a nice looking lounge. So Running with Miles is the channel. He has a handful of videos up on there. It's been a long time. It's like a 2-minute clip of him walking around in like super fast pace, but you get to see the lounge there. It is amazing looking, and I would love to stop by there. Sequence for application. Okay, let's see. Sapphire Reserve, Hyatt Southwest. If you're at 224 right now, David, and you're looking and you have the Chase F. Okay, you're looking for Sapphire Preferred, Hyatt, or Southwest SIF. I would still go Sapphire Preferred first because it's a big bonus and flexible currency. Then I would probably look at Hyatt because Southwest historically later in the year increases their sign-up bonus. So I would go with option 1 there for sequence if it were me. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going down for questions here. Let's see. Using United miles for the trip to Istanbul. Only 30,000 miles from North Dakota, so I'm not complaining about the miles. Not a bad use of your miles at all. 30,000 is a very good option to fly from North Dakota over to Istanbul. That's a good use. I would totally do that too. If anything, I think it makes more sense to make the stimulus videos now than earlier since the stuff is actually getting finalized instead of bringing the ideas thrown around now. Yeah, I'll do one when it passes, Ben. I just think I'll do one when it passes because I've seen a couple in the last couple of days where they're finalized, like it's getting down to the nitty gritty details of it may not change from the previous stimulus. We've seen a couple other ones. And instead of being speculative, I think I will wait till it is all done. And then I will finally, I'll do a video at that point. So I'll just do 1 or 2. I'm actually going to look through to see if there's any interesting other pieces of it. Like last time there was that student loan piece that really wasn't covered. That video actually did really well for me. But that student loan piece, as someone who had student loans, that was equally as valuable as the money that they were sending you because that put a lot of people in a really good position. So I will probably go through and look to see if there was any other tidbits of information outside of just, who gets how much money and when can you expect it. Any thoughts on the USB Infinite Business Card? Oh man, I talked about that a while ago, I think in a podcast with someone. Interesting card. Wouldn't hold on to it long term. So you guys are checking it. Let's see. I've cashed out most of my American Express points into my Schwab account. Turned $29, and I've gotten my points from my points into 7,000. That's awesome. That's awesome, Charles. I know you were buying some stocks with it a while back, and you're riding the stock market right now. I wish I would have bought American Airlines at like $8 or $9 this year, whatever it was, and sold it like 27. But I stayed away just because it just seems too volatile right now for me, and I'm uncomfortable with it. Just doesn't. I know it doesn't. The market doesn't match the economy, but the market's going up. It just seems like there's a bunch of other stuff happening. So it just seems illogical to me. So I'm just kind of like, I'm just sitting tight. Let's see. What do you think of PenFed and HSBC? PenFed, I think, is actually pretty good. I mean, they don't have great credit card options. You know, their one card earns 5x like gas stations. Their points aren't worth 1 cent per point. So it's not necessarily a great value in that sense. It's still a good option. They have that 1.5%, 2% card as well. And then the Pathfinder was really their bread and butter, if you will, of what was a good travel card. So I'm waiting for that to be released. HSBC, they actually have a couple cards that have some flexible currency on them. Long term, I don't know if I would invest in that ecosystem of their cards, but if you bank with HSBC and can get a card, especially for some of those bonuses, some of them allow you to transfer points out to Singapore Airlines, like British Airways. So there is a lot of potential value there. Let's see. Should I get a second City Premier? I downgraded from the Prestige almost 3 years ago. Yes. Yes. If you're eligible for a bonus, Ronald, I would absolutely recommend getting the City Premier card. City thank you points are very solid points. They have a lot of good value. Can do a lot of great things with them. You know, one of the big sweet spots is actually flying from the US to Hawaii using Turkish miles for 7,500 miles one way. I mean, I priced it out. There's a flight from Boston, stopped off in Chicago to Honolulu, 7,500 miles. And that's a really good option. Cathay Pacific, good options. So undervalued, a little bit more work to learn, but absolutely, I would totally go for it. It's actually a card that's on my list of get because I was due for a bonus last month on it. So I'm kind of just waiting. I'm not necessarily in a rush to get it, but I'll be getting the City Premier at some point in the near future because I can do a lot of traveling on 60,000 points. Let's see. What do you recommend for the inquiry stats for the US Bank leverage? Oh, the business card or the altitude reserve. Again, I would probably realistically have no hard pulls over the last 6 months and be under a cup 1 or 2 over last year. I think that's going to be a really good option to be best chance of success, Roth. I just don't, they're just so conservative. And this time too, when banks are really tightening up, I just don't see US Bank letting out cards to people who've been a little bit more aggressive or looking for credit at this time. What does everyone consider your number of membership reward points you'd like to keep in your account before cashing out the rest? That is a great question, Key. And I think it definitely does depend on the person. For me, I would probably like at least 200,000 in my account at all times, if possible, maybe $250,000, just because of the fact there's a lot of good options. But at the same point, if membership rewards were to maybe up that Schwab cash out to 1.5 cents per point, I would probably cash all of them out. I know I wouldn't be able to fly premium cabins until I boosted back up my point totals, but that's okay. I can do a lot of traveling with the cash back I would earn from that. 1.25 cents per point, though, I'm not a buyer or I'm not a seller, if you will. 1.5, I might open that card and cash out. Okay. Oh, my light just went out on me. Should have charged it up before the live. Let's see. Credit score. I think I just answered that one a minute ago. Let's see. Randy says, "Oh, what always makes me scratch my head is how folks give Citi grief for not having travel protections, even if it's not the reason to get in, even use it as a reason not to get the card." Yeah, I think a lot of people, Randy, honestly, just don't understand how to use Citi points. if you look at the people who are talking about stuff with credit cards, nothing against the people. I mean, it's American Express and Chase. People don't want to put in the work to learn some of those systems. I mean, would I put a travel purchase on a car like the Prestige? No. Would I get the Prestige because I could use the points? Yes, and I have access to a lot of great partners. So I think it's just expectations, and it's a good card to have for some of the benefits on there. But absolutely. Let's see. I have the same problem as Shauna. I got under 524. I have the Freedom Unlimited and the Freedom Chase Preferred. Seeing out getting the Hyatt card. That's a solid card, Charles. I would totally go for the Hyatt card. That's a good card to have. But American Express never had until recently, and it's still not the greatest. I was critical about American Express charging that much money for the Platinum card and not offering travel protections as well. It's the same. They just see and American Express is kind of switched off on who I, give that energy to. It would be nice if they kept it on there for Citi. Let's see, the Ritz card got rid of it too. So, yeah, so I don't think anybody's offering that Visa Infinite card benefit right now. Hopefully we see someone add it. Do the ink cards count towards 524? I use my Social Security plot, and 2 of them was approved. It does not count towards your 524. It's subjected to 524, but those ink cards will not count towards your 524 status, at least as of yet. Got rid of in January. Okay, thank you guys for that. Let's see. Sean says, thank you for everything you do in the community. Your hard work is very evident. Appreciate your contribution. Shauna, and I appreciate you tuning in and watching the channel, watching the video, supporting the stuff that I do here. I do love, like I said, I do these live streams. I do the videos because I just thoroughly enjoy them. I could talk credit cards all day, any day of the week. It's just, honestly, hearing some of the stories you get everyone sends of booking a trip or getting a credit card or something to make, they were able to pay off something because of the cash back. Maybe it's not the best redemption, but in some capacity to help them, like that definitely keeps driving me. So I appreciate you watching. What does your ideal Bank of America setup path look like? For me, I'm currently sitting on Roth, Premium Rewards, and 2 cash reward cards. I will probably get myself another cash reward card at some point because I'm getting 5.25% on those categories that I select on. And the Premium Reward card has been really great for me. So I do like how easy it has been to use. I just like how it's a lower annual fee as well. I consider it like a $15 effective annual fee because even that $100 airline credit is easier to use than American Express. I can still buy gift cards with it. It's more broad, and I haven't had an issue with it. And Bank of America has been pretty good for me so far, and I would totally get another one. We'll call it the Bank of America Quadfecta. Let's see. One day you'll be in the American Express Club. Go for it, Danny. Just get in there, man. Let's see. Let's see. I hate how YouTube does this. Let's see. Here we go. American airline status doesn't matter these days. I've witnessed Delta offer. Absolutely, Randy. There was who was the travel blogger? I can't remember his name. I saw on Twitter. And he has like super high-end status, but they weren't clearing people anymore so far out. Airlines are now letting people pay to upgrade and not necessarily giving it to elite status. I've always thought in recent years, elite status is a one-way road. Maybe that's a video topic on why I think this, but I do think status clouds people's judgments on making proper decisions, and status is a one-way road. I don't think companies truly reciprocate the elite status benefits. I don't think they reciprocate it in the way that we would like them to. It's all about the money, which I understand it's a business, but they don't. They expect more from us than what they give customers, is what I feel. Maybe that's a video worth talking about. What's going on, Poophead? I love your name, man. Every time. I'll say it every time. What's the app that I use for my credit scores there? There's the Max Rewards app. I log in all my accounts and I keep it there. But you can check all the banks independently. But I've been using the Max Reward app. I've been really enjoying it for the fact it just lets me know what card to use in a given chance. And it just locks it all there. Keeps track of your balance rewards, and you can change the value so you have an idea of how much your points are worth total. And it's a pretty user-friendly app. I talked to the developers there, the founder of it. I would say pretty regularly, and they're making updates to it all the time. So if you use the app and there's stuff that you want to see, please let me know because I do like the app. I think it's actually really good. It's the best one I've seen since Wallaby. And I've said early on, I think on a handful of videos ago, early on, like it didn't have some of the functionality, but they've made great improvements to it. So I do really like that app. Let's see. Got my altitude reserve after being approved for 5 cards in the last 10 months. That is awesome, Travel Invest. That is fantastic to hear. Let's see. I just answered that there. Let's see. You know how frequent America is charging people for that 70,000 point bonus on the gold card. I saw that it was going out. I think Sebastian did a video on that, and like I've seen on the blogs as well. I don't know how they're targeting people for it. I'm sure it's someone maybe with a card that they're using frequently or infrequently to kind of boost up that to do it. But if you get it, 70,000 points, totally worth it. Yes, I believe so, Roth. I have to double check that for you, but I do believe so because there's like 13 different exclusions. But if you've gotten if you've gotten one of the a handful of the American Express cards for Marriott in the last 24 months with a bonus, you aren't eligible for a bonus on the Chase cards. Let's see. Let's see. How can you get 2 city cards? Ronald, for which cards? Because they have quite a few cards out there. You have cards like the thank you point cards. You have American Airline cards, the Expedia card. They have a rule that's 8 and 65, if you will. One card every 8 days, 2 cards every 65 days. So if you apply for a card today and are approved, wait 8 days or wait 7 days and then get it again or get another card. But beyond which cards you want, there's different rules on which you can get the bonuses for. Any tips on increasing your credit score? Yes. Biggest one is your credit utilization. That is really important. You want your credit utilization really low. That's a big part of it. I did have a video on how to increase your credit score. Utilization is a big one, and payment history. That accounts for like 2/3 of your credit score. So fans, I don't know what your credit utilization rate is right now, but you definitely want it as low as possible so that reporting as low as possible to kind of boost that score up. Let's see. With banks shutting down accounts, do you think it's dangerous to open 3 or 4 cards for the bonuses like you were talking about? I think it depends on which banks you're going for, Zappy. I personally am being more cautious in this time just because of the fact banks are tightening up. Doesn't mean I wouldn't go for a couple cards if the bonuses were right and I felt I could use them. I wouldn't hit the same bank with 3 or 4 cards, and I would go for the banks that are most conservative first to kind of get the approval, and to go towards the banks that aren't as conservative to make sure it gives me the best opportunity for success. Let's see. Thank you so much for these chats. I've been missing travel so much, and here it lifts my spirits. Dana, thank you so much. These chats are great for. I think I know I really enjoy them, so I try to make time for whenever I can get to them, and I'll try to do them too when the baby comes because newborns just sleep. Knock on wood that he sleeps like my first son because Owen sleeps really well. Let's see. Which hotel cards would you double stack besides Player 2 Chase or American Express? As far as would you get besides Player 2? I would definitely, the Hilton American Express setup with you can kind of upgrade and downgrade options is really good. And I like the fact I can use my free night certificate any day of the week for a while. I actually have, because the companies have been extending these out, I have 2 Hilton certificates to use. I have 2 Hyatt certificates to use. So I'll be using those coming up. So I actually have quite a bit to use, which is really nice to see too. Let's see. Key says, do you have a favorite? Oh, that's someone else, I think. Do I have a favorite Is that for me, Key? I'm not sure. Do you have a favorite location to frequently visit or favorite hotel brand? Fun fact, I don't like to visit necessarily the same destination twice, especially international. So many places in the world to visit. While some of these places have been extremely beautiful and I love them, I always want to experience a new place. Favorite hotel brand? I am a big Hyatt Place fan. Like Hyatt places and Hyatt houses, I like them. They're cheap on points. I get breakfast in the morning, bigger hotel rooms. All the service has been great. I can't complain at all. So for me, Hyatt Place and Hyatt houses, big fan of. I would take them over a Park Hyatt or a Hyatt even a Hyatt Regency probably any day of the week. I know, crazy, right? How dare I not maximize and get my my comfortable slippers from my closet there. Let's see, the student loan provision was huge. Take that again. Agree, Alvin. I'm curious if they'll replicate that again. I know that was huge for student loan holders. I had people messaging me, saying it was helping them out a lot. I'm curious if they're going to do something like that again for student loan holders to basically allow that, which I would hope so, because everyone is really in that situation struggling and could use that kind of uplift. So I'm hoping we see it. And if there is, I'll be sure to let you know on it as well. Stimulus videos. Yes, wait until the details are finalized. I like that. Talking about things in general. Can't wait until we can travel outside the United States again freely again. You and me both. Let's see. For your knowledge, Southwest Plus card adds $200 statement credit to the welcome offer. I would still wait, Daniel, for the larger bonus, because some of these bonuses they've offered in the past have been 60,000 points or even 70,000 points, if I remember correctly. So I would wait, and I would give up potentially a $200 bonus for that more so if you also are looking for the companion pass. So for me, I would wait, but $200 is a great offer if it's in addition to those higher point bonuses. Is there a certain strategy to getting the bonus again with Chase? I've already had the card longer than 48 months. I'm assuming you mean the Sapphire Reserve or Preferred. And I don't know if to cancel and apply again or in order to get the bonus. That's a great question, Oliver. I would not cancel the card. I would actually product change it down to a Chase Freedom, personally a Chase Freedom. And then I would wait probably a month or so, and I would reapply for the card. Because then you would no longer have the card, which is one of the exclusions, and you've waited and you would be outside that 48-month window to get the bonus again. Don't cancel the Chase cards, because you just never know what's going to happen with their entire ecosystem, or if they change the rules and get more strict. Convert it to a Freedom card. You get a useful 5X card for those rotating categories. Wait a month, and then I would reapply, and I would apply again for one of those cards to get the bonus. That's what I would do. The Prestige. Man, these 24-month windows fly by so fast. I can't believe how quickly I'm due for some of these bonuses again. Pop up. Let's see. How has your points game changed with the family and the need to pay from more seats and peers? Man, Roth, that is a great question, because my son is going to be turning 2 in January, and I had planned on having traveled like more so I could use him as a lap infant. But I was thinking about the fact that now that we're done, we're having 2 kids, it opens up the time to fly to other spots in the world where maybe Zika was more present, where we were avoiding. I'm like, man, we're totally going to fly business class there, because that is like a 15-hour flight. And then I would quickly remember my 2-year-old son would be sitting in his own business class seat. So I'm like, what do I do? So I'm being strategic in the fact of where the destinations would be and where the deals would go. Still, we're going to be a coach flying family, and for the most part, and I definitely am going to be looking for transfer bonuses to take advantage of, and going to be probably flying in shoulder season on a lot of destinations, so that I can make sure I'm getting lower cost flights for points, and Airbnbs on the cheaper side as well. Because with 2 kids, it's totally going to be Airbnb. Hotels will be nice, but definitely going to be Airbnb. Let's see. Can still get around by checking offers in branch. You still can, as far as I know, still do that. Can't wait, Charlie. You got quite the points total. Let's see. Oh, Poophead has a good question. If Sebi and Brian had a chess battle, who would you put money on? Sebi is so strategic. I feel like I'd go Sebi. Sebastian just seems to be like steps ahead in his thought process. It amazes me his ability to put things together. And like when I watch his stuff, it always makes me think like, wow, I didn't think of it that way. So I appreciate that. 100%. So like, just because like I like the different viewpoints and how he thinks of things. But I would probably put my money on Sebastian just because I think he's like, I feel like he would already have the game figured out 4 steps ahead, like where Brian was moving before Brian moved. I don't know. Who do you guys think would win that one? That's a good question. Those are some fun questions there. Definitely, Sebby. Let's see. I have the Chase Sapphire Preferred and Freedom Unlimited. Should I get the Freedom or Hotel card next? Claude, I would get the Freedom card. It's a good complement to it, especially with the 5x on groceries for a year. And the bonus, I would still get the Freedom card. I think long term, it's going to value if you're running a Chase setup. But after that, I would look to get a hotel card. Let's see. Max Rowell, thank you. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to use my American Express points. The Chase points to go to the Maldives, flying from Cleveland. Can't figure out those points. Jeremy, I don't know if you've ever seen the newsletters, but Spencer Howard, he does a newsletter, Straight to the Points newsletter. My hands are over here. Straight to the Points newsletter. He actually just recently sent one to the Maldives. First off, he does award searches all the time. So, and he sends it out to people. So if you haven't registered for that, I would totally register for that because he did that and he always looks for deals. But American Express points are going to probably be your best bet because there's better airline options. And then from Cleveland, you're probably going to want to reposition to maybe like New York. New York's going to be a better option for you. So I would look there as far as your options. And then you could look to fly Q Suites from Qatar. So I would look at those options for yourself. Let's see. How many points and what types? Oh, let's see. Jake, bro, how you doing, man? Jake is in the house. Let's see. How many active credit cards do I have right now? I think I personally have 32 or 33. 32 or 33. My wife has probably 20, 22. So we have like 50 active cards between the both of us, give or take, because I've been opening more recently in the sense of the last couple months. So that many. A lot of them are no fee cards. I do have some cards that have annual fees, but like I'm getting good value from my Aspire card, and that's a really good value for me. And my Altitude Reserve. So yeah, I got quite a few fees, but I will look to cut them at some point, I'm sure. Recently started looking at Japan Mileage Bank. Never really looked at them in the past. So, but Japan Airlines is a good option there. Let's see. New to the channel, 1 month new to cards. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let's see. With a little one on the way, is vacation on pause for a while, meaning 2021? Are you still eyeing some places? Man, I'm still looking to travel in 2021. I'll figure it out with 2 kids. No, I think we will still travel. I don't know what it'll look like as far as where would we go, but definitely we're traveling in 2021. Yeah, I'm hoping to do some international travel with the family as a whole. So definitely travel. I can't go 2 years without traveling. That would eat me alive. Do you think they're going to extend hotel certificates? Ronald, they have for a lot of these programs already. So I'd take a look at which hotel you're talking about, but definitely they have minimum income for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. You know, that depends on a lot of other factors as well. Chase Sapphire Preferred, since it's a Visa signature, typically needs a $5,000 credit limit. And I bet they look at a lot of things beyond just income as well. I'm still stunned at your wife drew and painted that picture of coffee. Yes, Joseph, that's right. So the map that's here in the back, my wife hand drew that and painted it with coffee. So it's a big map. I love it. It fits the room really well, and I'm really lucky that she was willing to paint that for me. Let's see. What does American Express define as cardholder length? I keep getting it for American Express for 9 months. Are they looking at other cards as well for you, Froth? Frosty, let's see. What does I'm assuming your entire length of your entire what's your entire credit history length as well? You might need to wait a little bit longer too at 9 months, but that doesn't seem. I've seen them offer for other people, so they may be looking at other things as well for you. Any thoughts on Alaska Airline points for family of four? Player one can get biz and personal. Players two can get biz. We have long-term plans to East Asia. At this point in time, Roth, there's still a really good option. We don't know what's going to, you play the game based on what we have today. We don't know what's going to happen when they join One World and what's going to potentially happen to the reward chart. But there are some great options with Alaska with stopovers on one ways. So I would definitely look to accumulate those miles because you can do Cathay Pacific from the US over to Asia, 50,000 miles one way, plus get a stopover in business class. So that's really hard to beat. Fun fact, Jake Bro was a Scholastic State champion in chess when he was in high school. No crap. That's actually pretty interesting. That's good. What was your first move, Jake? What was like, do you have like a historical first move? Like I always like to move the, is it the knight? The knight out from beyond the pawns. Let's see. If Brian or Sebi put out a tier system for credit card for YouTubers, what tier would I go in? I don't know. I'm definitely not. I don't know if I don't know where they would put tier for. That's an interesting video. I don't know where I'd put myself. That's an interesting question, Roth. I definitely don't think. You know what? I'm gonna refrain from answering that because I'm not sure if where I would go for that. So it's that's an interesting question. I don't know where I would fall in the tier system of credit card YouTubers as a whole. So, and I don't think I'm the top in the credit card YouTube world. So that's an interesting one. Jake Bro and Sebi chase battle on YouTube Live. You know what? Pay-per-view, we can do that. You know what? Jake, let's set that up. That would be fun to do. Let's see. To be fair, Ben and Sebi in chess. I still pick Sebi because of like what you said, Sebi thinks several moves ahead. That would be an interesting one too. I would be fun to see. That would be interesting. Does Hyatt let you use points for higher point rooms? I did see that they were letting you use them for suites recently. And you can use them for certain rooms as well for suites in general. How lenient is Navy Federal? I think they've tightened up. Randy, let me know on this one, man. I think that they've tightened up on people. I think Randy, do you know this one? I think they've tightened up on people as well. These smaller banks are definitely tightening up as well. Their credit limits, though, are pretty good, though. I've seen a lot of people with like high credit limits, but getting in with them now seems a little bit more difficult. Using the companion ticket, can I also use Sky Miles for my ticket? Can you use them, Charles? I didn't think you could use them for the companion. It had to be on a paid fare for so many pieces. I didn't think you could use Sky Miles for one ticket and the companion for the next. So it had to be on a paid fare. They said I'm going to, but I would wait a few more months, Frosty, and I would try again. Let's see. All right. I know you get value from your cards to justify their fees, but how much do you pay in annual fees in a given year? I probably pay close. What's a good question? 454. It's funny because like year one, I'll pay them up front, and a lot of these cards won't see year two. But this year alone, annual fee wise, excluding retention offers I've received, I'll probably pay $1,200. I'll probably pay $1,200 in annual fees this year. And historically, I get far more value. I'm getting value out of all these credits, but as a whole, not this year. I'm not getting them out of travel. What's the best hotel card for everyday purchases? I would go the Hilton cards. Actually, the Hilton Surpass is really good for daily purchases just because of the points that you earn in the groceries purchases. And at $15,000, you do get that extra certificate as well, or you get that certificate. What would you do if the Altitude Reserve went red on your returns with US Bank not allowing product changes? ICE, if it doesn't make sense for me, it gets cut. I don't get emotionally attached to cards. because that's just not how the game's played. Some of these cards are great, but when they no longer provide me value, they're gone. It doesn't matter if it's uh, a card with annual fees, but if the card stopped offering me value, it'd be gone. It wouldn't even be a question. Queen's pawn d4. All right. I got my wife's ticket paid for it. I used miles to upgrade to first class. Okay, interesting. Tightened up. Let's see. They're not as generous as they used to be. Let's see. Thank you, Ren, for the kind words. Is this where I plug Weeble right now? By the way, I think there is something down below in the links. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I have affiliation with them, but I don't. If you guys want to use it, it's down in the description. I'm not going to keep plugging it. But I don't know if I'm top tier though. But I appreciate that, Randy. I do what I can. I definitely try to stick to the facts as much as I can. But you're putting me up there with some high people, Randy. Apparama Bank of America, nope, not worth it. They're really tight on what they're doing too. So I wouldn't Apparama with them. You can get cards, but they're just too tough right now. I don't think I would do that with them. What do you think would be the best strategy for non-chain hotels other than cash back? If you're looking for non-chain hotels and not cash back, while it's not perfect, I mean, you do have the Chase setup with the travel portal. You could look to use hotels.com and buy discounted gift cards. You have Capital One Venture as well. But cash back could still be really good in buying discounted gift cards at hotels.com if you're looking for a reward system as well. 3,000 years in annual fees, but as long as you're getting value from it, that's all that matters. What's my favorite daily driver card and gas card that are no annual fees? For me personally, outside of like the temporary benefits, my gas card is USA Cash Rewards. Cash back reward plus card. It's 5% back on gas up to $3,000 a year. So I get a lot of benefit from it there. My favorite daily driver is for non-bonus spend has definitely been my Bank of America premium reward card because of the fact 2.63%. I get it right. It's a lot easier to redeem for. I could use my Altitude Reserve card, but I can't use the cash out method with them too often because they'll close the account. So I may do it again. So I jump back and forth between those cards. Let's see. I'll do a few more questions and then I have to go. But let's see. How would you redeem a flight to Japan with the least amount of points? Membership rewards you are looking to travel there when international flights open up? Well, if I were looking to fly to Japan for the least amount of miles and I was going to only use 1 point system, definitely would be membership rewards over ultimate rewards. But more so, I would probably look at Alaska Miles, Poophead. Alaska Miles could do very, very well there as a whole, but membership reward points would be my option over ultimate reward points. Let me see. Looking out for some best airline credit card. Jeremy, that's going to be all dependent on where you're living and what you're using for. But as for point value, Alaska. American can be good as well because they're hard to earn. And you have a lot more options to get more American cards. But point system wise, Alaska Miles are the top ones here. Waller top tier with the muscles, Brian Underham. Thank you, Poopet. I appreciate that. Let's see. Propel card. Let's see. Besides AA, any thoughts on the best MasterCard at the moment? I guess what are you using it for, Ross? Bank of America Cash Reward has one. And let's see, Bank of America has a membership reward, has a MasterCard. The City Premier is great as a MasterCard. I would look there as well. And also, and the City Prestige as well. Thank you very much, Randy, for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. I'll do 2 more questions, I think. 2 or 3 more questions. Ask them in right now if you guys have any. Let's see. I've been looking to get into investments after pay off all my student loans. Do you think Roth IRA is worth maxing out even in my yearly income is under 20 If you can afford to max out your IRA, absolutely. I think investing in yourself in retirement, whatever you can financially afford to do, I do think it's worth investing that way. Long term, it'll work out better for you than holding it in cash. So I would definitely do that if you can afford to do it. If you can't, you have to look at your financial situation. But if you can afford to, absolutely. Let's see. Are credit card award travel considered part of the tax rebate incentive program? I don't believe that as far as award travel, Catchy. It would have to be paid flights, but I don't even know if that's being passed. So I know that was talked about, but I don't know if it's going to be passed at all. So I don't know, but I don't award travel fees. I wouldn't if it's being that reimbursed. I don't know if I'd want to get 250 back. Using your points as some capacity as a rebate as cash would potentially be a better option for you. Danny boy, thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. We'll go two more. Let's see. And let's see. Everyone's saying bye. Okay, let's see. All right. So Charles asks, out of all the hotel cards, do you think you're better in terms of going head to head of Hyatt or Hilton? Depends on where you travel to. A lot of these are so subjective. Hilton has a bigger footprint. Hyatt's got the better value. I've had nothing but great experiences from Hilton as a diamond member. Even as a gold member, they treated me really well. So I would definitely, I do enjoy my time at Hilton. I can't lie. I like Hyatt properties and the value they give me from points, but I've had a really good experience with Hilton as of recently. Good night, Randy. Have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you so much. All right. Last question I'll do. If I could only get one chase card, the Freedom or the Marriott Boundless with the increased offer, which one do I think holds more value? I still go towards the flexible currency of the Chase Freedom. I do. I know there's still you get the certificate with the Boundless, but 35,000 points. I don't know if it's the best value. You can definitely get your annual fee worth from it, but I would still say the Freedom. It just works out well. No fee, 5% back or 5x. Long-term value, I think it just works out well as a whole. So I'm still leaning towards the Freedom card. But CJ, I did mention it that they are joining One World at the end of this year. It's slated to do that. And I'll be curious to see how that affects their award program. But everyone, I am gonna call answering questions right now. We've been doing it for a little bit now. I appreciate all of you stopping by. Thank you all so much. I do appreciate it. Thanks for doing the Social Distance Happy Hour. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. If you know someone who likes learning about this stuff, feel free to share the channel with them as well. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, we're pretty active there, and I definitely answer a lot of questions in my Facebook group. So until the next one, everyone, safe travels and take care.